The glass moon. No one expected the signal from Vesper-6 to be answered. It was a mining outpost, barely a handful of domes clinging to the cracked surface of an ice moon orbiting the gas giant Lothar. The company lost contact 6 weeks ago. No distress beacon, no radiation plume, just silence. Then last night, a pulse, a shortwave transmission repeating the same phrase over and over. "We found the mirror. Send help." The Ardent, a corporate rescue hauler, made orbit 3 days later. Captain Hale, tired, scarred from a lifetime of deep space contracts, took a small team down, 4 specialists, 1 medic, 1 ex-Marine. The cold was so deep their breath froze in the helmets before the scrubbers caught it. Vesper-6 looked like a graveyard. No power lights, no movement. Just the endless glare of Lothar's reflection across the snow, a planet the color of rusted blood. The descent, the airlock opened with a scream of frozen metal. Inside, the corridors were rimed with frost. Tools lay scattered mid-task. Coffee mugs still sat steaming in the memory of heat. Something had cut the power, but the reactors were still warm. "Any bodies?" Hale asked. "None," said Dr. Juno Red, her breath fogging inside the helmet. "No drag marks, no blood, they just left." They reached the central lab, a large circular chamber filled with equipment, glass cases, and one object in the middle. A shard, 2 meters high, perfectly smooth, like polished obsidian. It was surrounded by empty chairs and recording gear. "Looks like the mirror," said Engineer Dax. He touched it once with a gloved hand. Static leapt across his suit. His HUD went white for half a second. Then his voice changed. Just a little. A half-echo that didn't belong. The mirror. They found the research logs on a cracked tablet. The lead scientist, Dr. Miran Yao, had been studying seismic fluctuations in the moon's core when the drills hit something solid. Not metal, not ice, but crystal. A perfect geometric lattice buried 8 kilometers down. They brought up a piece. Then everything changed. The logs ended abruptly, but the last entry read, "The glass is not reflective, it's responsive. It learns who looks." That night cycle, Hale dreamt she was standing before the shard. In her reflection, she wasn't wearing her helmet. She smiled, but she wasn't smiling. The infection by the next day, Dax was gone. His suit still stood in the corner of the lab, visor fogged from the inside. When they opened it, it was empty. No body, no blood, just a thin layer of frost shaped like lungs. The shard was glowing faintly now, a dull blue pulse like a heartbeat. Juno scanned it. "Energy output's increasing," she said. "It's feeding on us. On the heat we bring." They tried to lift it. The floor melted around it like water under ice. The thing sank halfway through the metal, humming, and then it spoke, using Dax's voice. "It's beautiful here," it said softly. "You should see yourselves." The room temperature plummeted. Frost crept up their visors from the inside. The lights flickered to black, and in the dark, the shard shone brighter. For a moment they saw faces moving inside it, faces that looked like their own. Pressing outward from the glass, mouths open in silent screams. The collapse. They fled through the corridors, ceiling bulkheads behind them, but the reflections followed. Every window, every polished surface showed their doubles, sometimes delayed, sometimes ahead of them. One reflection turned to look directly at Hale while she wasn't moving. "Captain," said the medic, panic shaking his voice. "The reflections are acting on their own." Hale smashed the nearest viewport with her rifle. The mirror in the wall bled light. From the crack spilled a liquid silver substance that moved like smoke. It slithered up the walls, forming limbs, faces, shapes, each one a distorted mimic of the crew. They ran for the hangar. The doubles followed, walking upside down along the ceiling, whispering fragments of the crew's own thoughts. The Truth Juno made it to the control core and reconnected the last working terminal. It played the final camera log of Dr. Miran Yao. "The mirror isn't a mineral," Yao whispered to the lens. Her eyes were hollow. "It's a membrane. There's something on the other side. We weren't drilling into rock. We were drilling into reality." She smiled weakly. "And it's been looking back for a very long time." The video flickered. The camera turned slightly, and for a split second, Hale saw herself standing behind Yao in the feed, though she'd never been there. Then the log ended. The escape. The Ardent crew overrode the airlocks and set demolition charges. Hale stayed behind to make sure the blast took the mirror with it. As the others boarded the shuttle, she turned one last time toward the shard. It was pulsing fast now, its surface clear enough to show her reflection perfectly. The image spoke first. "You think you can destroy me?" it said with her voice. "But I'm not on your side of the glass anymore." The timer hit 0. The detonation tore through the facility, sending a geyser of light and debris miles into the thin atmosphere. From orbit, it looked like a flare dying on the snow. Aftermath. A month later, salvage drones found fragments of the station. No bodies, no recorders. Only shards of black glass buried in the ice. Thousands of them, each smooth as mirrors, each humming faintly. When the drones returned to the hauler, their camera feeds kept flickering. In the reflection of the hull, they captured faces, unfamiliar, smiling faintly, watching them work. And deep beneath the frozen crust of Vesper-6, something began to sing, soft as breath behind a mirror. End of the glass moon.